you're forced to be in an environment where you feel like you need to pretend to discharge bodily fluids instead of saying that you're a feminist. You want someone to toss your bouquet to, like...
Sounded like an innuendo.
Like, give us all the receipts.
This is like some private investigation. Damn. Sorry, my voice broke. Damn.
Damn.
You're through to 1-800-DRAMA.
The show where you share your biggest dilemmas.
And we help you navigate them.
I'm Shaaba.
And I'm Jamie.
Come join us as we help people figure out if they are the drama.
Because sometimes you just need an outside perspective.
And we can all expand our own mindsets along the way.
Wait, am I the drama?
Okay, today's green flag, red flag. Getting drunk at a wedding.
Oh, this one is very context dependent. How drunk we talking?
Really drunk.
Oh, probably, yeah, red flag. If you're drunk to the point where you're not on your best behaviour and you're causing a little bit of a scene and a ruckus, then yeah, red flag.
A ruckus? I haven't heard that word in such a long time.
Having a little tipple and getting a little tipsy, no problem. But getting like flat out drunk at somebody else's wedding, even your own wedding, to be fair, maybe that's worse if it's your own wedding and you get so drunk you don't remember it. Bit of a red flag.
Fair enough.
I've seen it happen and nobody is happy with the person having a nap on the sofa.
Is the person having a nap on the sofa happy with the person having a nap on the sofa?
Potentially not the day after.
I would agree. I think it's difficult to answer as well because I'm not a massive fan of people just being drunk generally.
Yeah.
We choose not to drink for different reasons. And like, it's fine. I do think there's a lot of judgment for being like sober still. It's quite stigmatized. I'm not hugely comfortable in front of super drunk people. It just makes me feel like, go have a sleep and then we'll chat.
Yeah.
Oh, drama.
Am I the drama for prioritizing my cat over taking my partner out to birthday dinner?
Ooh.
Oh, no, I need way more information. Can't even make a snap judgment on the title of this.
This is a tricky one. I can't tell if it's going to be spicy or not.
I know. Okay.
I'm a 27-year-old woman and I'm dating a 28-year-old man whose birthday was on Monday. Happy birthday.
For Monday. My birthday's on a Monday this year.
It is. We were supposed to go out to an extravagant birthday dinner since he'd spent a lot of money on my birthday earlier in the year. He earns a lot more than I do, so I could only do so much, but still, we've been together for 2 years.
Okay. Background.
Well, on the day preceding when we were supposed to go out, I noticed that my cat had what appeared to be a cyst in her eye. It appeared overnight and it looked very painful and bad. I drove her 2 hours to an emergency vet open one Sunday instead and got some eye drops, but there's a really big risk that she may lose the eye.
Oh no.
Oh, kitty. She hasn't been eating because of the pain and I was really worried, so I cancelled dinner and I decided to stay home with the cat, telling my partner we can reschedule it for another night and that he's welcome to come over and look after her with me.
Okay.
What's your thoughts so far? I feel like this is totally reasonable.
It all depends on if staying with the cat benefited the cat's health. Do you know what I mean? Like if it was just something, put it this way. You know, talking of cats,
cat, that's so
literally
funny.
Our cat is wanting to be on the podcast. Hello, Apollo.
Hi, Po. Yeah, we should probably also preface this with we have two cats. So I'm obviously going to be like, oh, look after the cat.
Coming from a place of like cat lover perspective, yes.
But no, I will say, even if the cat doesn't need it, I would be so nervous. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not in the state of mind to celebrate. I'd be like, oh, I just want to look after her.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you disagree?
Let's finish reading and have a chat. I'm thinking.
Well, he got really upset and said he'd taken the next day as a vacation day already. He was planning on getting drunk. So funny after the conversation we just had. And that the waiting list for this specific restaurant was 3 months and they wouldn't have his favourite seasonal special on then. So I was being incredibly selfish and a mega asshole. So, am I the drama?
Do you know my first thought?
Yeah.
I would have at least run it past him. It sounds like she cancelled without talking to him, which sounds a bit strange to me. I absolutely would have called you and been like, hey, look, my cat's not well. And I really feel like I need to stay with her or him or them. And, you know, I think we might need to move your birthday dinner. How do you feel about that? And then he could have come back and said, it's my favourite restaurant. It's only every 3 months. What situation is the cat in? Do you really need to be with them like the whole time? And they could have had this needed to be a conversation, not just a hello, I cancelled your birthday dinner. Okay,
also I just need to say I think I was very brash at the front. I definitely put myself in a position of being like, oh my gosh, poor cat.
The cat's in front of our light. We have one orange light and one pink light. And did you just see the light change? If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll have just seen the light change.
If you're not watching this and you're just listening to this, I'm so sorry for that little silence in the middle. It's just, it felt like the house had a bit of a power cut.
Yeah, it just went
what has
dark,
just happened?
and then it's Fluffball sitting in front of the light,
It's
literally
because Apollo
blocking.
could hear us talking
Yeah.
about cats. He's like, remember me.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sorry.
I forgot my bean. What were we talking about?
You were a bit brash.
Yes, no, I
earlier.
was very brash, and I was definitely thinking like, oh my gosh, if I was feeling like so sad about just this cat issue, it would be all consuming. But you're right. Does the cat really need you there?
Yeah.
For a couple of hours where you're going out for dinner? You could have come back after, especially hearing, the partner's perspective, and he's like, oh, favorite seasonal special, it's not going to be available again. I did
3
take a day
months.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, big wait list. You could have gotten someone else to look after the cat. It's not like they've even tried to think of anything other than the cat. I do think it's a bit mean for the partner to call OP here selfish, because she's not doing it for herself. She's doing it to look after
Her cat.
So it's
Incredibly
another
selfish and a mega arsehole does feel
maybe
quite...
like it's lacking a
But
lot
I
of
can see where the hurts come from.
empathy.
Especially if it really doesn't sound like there was that chat beforehand.
Yeah,
It's I've cancelled your birthday. It was telling him what she'd done, which I think that to me... Okay, I don't think you're necessarily the drama if you felt like you had to stay home with your cat because it was necessary in case an emergency occurred or health deteriorated or you needed to keep an eye on it and you'd been told that by a vet. I think if the cat was perfectly fine to be left for a few hours, then I do think no for just cancelling the birthday and staying home with your cat. What I absolutely think this person is the drama over is cancelling the plans without having a discussion.
So you're saying it's not what you did, it's how you did it.
Yes, and it might also be what you did, but there's not quite enough information because I can't tell from this, because I don't want to say, yeah, you're the drama for staying home with your cat if the cat would have been really unwell without being looked after.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting that vibe.
But I don't want to say, like, oh, your cat would have been... this would have been fine for you to do if the cat died. We can't say that. And now I'm also thinking what we're talking about, a restaurant meal being like a couple of hours. He's talking about having a whole night away, maybe going dancing, because he's saying, I don't know why dancing came to my mind, but, going to a club or whatever, because he's like, I'm going to get so crunk. Well, I'm not going to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, it might have been a longer thing, but also that longer thing could have happened at home too. You could have come back for like after party drinks. I think that a compromise definitely could have been made.
I absolutely would have tried to find a friend or somebody to check in on the cat whilst I went
out for dinner.
And then I would have told you about what had happened and whether we could change plans.
Yeah. I'm surprised that conversation didn't happen before, when you were driving the vet to the emergency.
Maybe they don't live together.
Driving the cat to the emergency vet.
The vet to the emergency.
to the emergency cat.
Maybe
do you know
they
what I
don't.
mean?
Yeah, but maybe they don't live together.
I know, but I'd still be on the phone with you like, my cat.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah,
no.
Technology exists.
From this very limited amount of information, it maybe sounds like there's a slight communication issue.
Oh, so have we found one where actually maybe there's a little drama?
There is.
You are the drama.
For the communication.
Bring on the downvotes, but you are the drama. I highly doubted that you're staying up 24 hours a day, keeping constant watch over your cat. You surely could have stepped out for a few hours to fulfill the commitment that you made to your boyfriend. Also, if you were truly worried about your cat scratching their eye, you had plenty of time between the vet visits and the birthday dinners to purchase a cone. If that still wasn't enough to give you peace of mind, you could have hired a friend to sit with the cat for a few hours.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
About you're not staying up with the cat 24 hours. There were other things that you could put into place to put your mind at ease.
Yeah. I didn't even think of the cone thing, but like at least a friend. Even if a friend couldn't come, it's not even like that thought process happened where OP's saying, and then I tried and it wasn't a possibility. That's when he got upset.
Yeah.
I feel like if those kind of efforts would have been made, it would have been said.
Yeah.
In the post.
And if the efforts had been made and there was still a necessity to stay with the cat and a conversation had been had, then maybe the boyfriend wouldn't have been upset. This does feel like a kind of spicy story version of when people joke that's like, I have a cat. If my boyfriend were allergic, I wouldn't have a boyfriend.
I feel
it's definitely I chose my cat.
Vibes. Yes, over
and
you.
You can't blame people for that too much, but like you got to take the consequences. You will upset people.
Yeah, especially if other people don't prioritize or see the priority in the same way, which I think is just like a difference of experience. But I think the most important part here is like if you were really upset because of whatever reason, I can totally understand why you might feel less inclined to go out and celebrate in that moment. But a discussion is better than a full-on cancellation.
Yeah.
And I think like if this happened between us, I could totally see a scenario where we would have been like, okay, well, Shaaba, do you really need to stay home to look after the cat? And I'm like, well, no, but... And it's like, okay, so you're feeling like you want to.
Yeah.
Maybe we do a takeaway from this place.
Yeah.
Maybe we go for a really quick meal, a drink at the bar.
Come back to yours after.
And, you know, like have like starters there and bring the main back. Or, you know, there's ways... We are also... I should probably preface this because that might sound really weird to some people. We love a good takeaway.
Yeah.
I think we prioritize takeaways over going out to eat.
Yeah.
I get that's not everyone's vibe. Sad times. Poor cat. I hope the cat's okay.
The cat's the real not drama in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The real victim
Everyone
of the situation.
sucks but the cat. Oh, same, not the drama. The attitudes and people on this thread are the reason we still need reminders that pets are for life, not just for Christmas. Gross. Oh.
I do understand what this person is saying. You know, like, absolutely a pet is not just for Christmas. Absolutely. If a pet is like really having a tough time, just like any other living being. Like, okay, 2 questions. Would it have been like that if it wasn't a cat but any other dependent? And my second question is it just a you thing? Or is it that the cat actually prefers you being there?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I feel like if they're that unwell, they should be at the vet's for observation.
Yeah,
that's why.
But also, if they're just recovering, they like to be alone. They'll be like curled up on a bed, on a sofa, under a bed, in a box, and they'll be sleeping.
I think
alone.
if one of our cats was unwell like this, and we knew that they wouldn't get worse through leaving them, and it wasn't any worse than when we sleep, I'd go. I am a little blasé. I am like, they'll be fine. When something's really wrong, I'm very there, and I know it.
Oh no, you're a very attentive and wonderful cat parent.
You know, if something small happened and they were not very happy, but they were okay, I'd be like, mate, also, you just sleep for a few hours. We'll be home soon.
I know that this is a good verdict from you because you're such an introvert. You would take any opportunity to not go to a social event. So if you're saying it'll be fine, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I think there have been occasions where we've had a discussion and been like, you've maybe been like, oh, I don't know if we should leave the cats in this situation. I've been like, no, they'll be fine. And they've been fine. And then other times we have been like, actually, no, we shouldn't leave them. And we've stayed.
Oh my God, like that time that Prawn, yes, we have a cat called Prawn for those of you who might not know. He was outside and for some reason he decided to jump a very high fence that he'd never jumped before.
Yeah.
And we both had like this joint tattoo session and we were running late because this stupid cat wouldn't come back over the fence.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
But we both made a joint decision
that no, he had
we
to come
had
back
to
in.
wait until we got him back in, even if it meant being late for our appointment.
I know this is very different to OP's cat potentially losing an eye. I'm just saying, you know, like there are times where you have to prioritize.
No, because we don't leave the cats outside unless
for
we
prolonged
are there
periods of time.
Keep an eye on them, let them in whenever they want in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, cool. I feel like we thoroughly talked that one through.
We thoroughly discussed it.
There's an edit from OP.
Broke up with boyfriend. Oh my gosh.
Over this?
This post made me realise I care about my cat more and would cancel plans like these 100 times over if the same situation came up again. No regrets. She still isn't eating and is very weak. I'm going back to the vets today because despite not eating, she's developed diarrhea. Oh. I think that then gets us to the root of the problem, right? It literally is... If you're allergic to my cat, I'm breaking up with you. It's OP realised, and that's perfectly okay. And she did a very respectable thing by then being like, sorry, boyfriend, I see what my priorities are in life, and we're clearly not on the same page. I care more about my cat, and maybe it should be more equal in my caring. Or maybe I need a partner who also cares a lot about my cat, and that's what's important to OP.
Hang on, so this has actually caused a breakup? Like, for real?
But I think it's caused a realization that's caused a breakup.
Sure. But like you can care about your cat more. No.
It's been a catalyst. Get it?
Yeah, I get it.
Literally.
You can care about your cat more. You can care about the health of your cat more than the birthday plans of this boyfriend.
Yeah.
That's very different to saying that you prioritize your cat above your boyfriend. Do you know what I mean?
But I think maybe realizing that was like, oh,
I actually don't care very much for this boyfriend.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the case and it's just been worded differently. For me, I'm just sort of like, I'm reading this. I feel so bad for this cat. Honestly, I just want to make sure the cat's okay.
Yeah.
But that still would have happened whether you went out to the restaurant or not.
Yeah, but I think what we're getting at is...
It's more how OP felt about wanting to stay home, not the cat being ill, which is more what it had to be. Yeah, and I see why this is just a mismatch in priorities.
So maybe that does mean in that situation, yes, OP the drama for not communicating properly in the first place, and also maybe not realizing their own feelings.
What I'm thinking is maybe the way that OP's boyfriend spoke to them, she's like, no, I wasn't a fan of that. If you can't see that this means more to me, that this is more important to me, you don't deserve to be in my life. F you, it's me and my cat.
Maybe. And that's perfectly within her right to do. Cool. Yeah.
But she's still the drama.
I think so. For the initial situation and how that was handled, yes.
You can still be the drama, right? But be doing what's right for you.
Oh, yeah.
Doing the right thing sometimes might not be the right thing for everyone, or might not objectively seem like the right thing.
And also, I don't think this is like the spiciest situation.
Yeah.
It's being like the drama in a specific situation doesn't make you a bad person.
Have we made this more complex than it needed to be?
I think so, maybe.
Oh, we the drama right now.
We are the drama. Shall we move on to the next one?
I think we should. Am I the drama for not taking part in the bouquet toss at my friend's wedding?
Okay. I mean, I instantly want to be like, how is that dramatic to
Yeah.
not do? But sure, let's
see.
read on. A couple of weekends ago, I was at the wedding of my good college friend Amy. For context, I am in a long-term relationship but do not plan on getting married for various reasons, including the fact I don't want a wedding as I hate a lot of the traditions involved for feminist reasons and don't really care about having one anyway.
Do you know, when the title came up, I kind of saw this as being like, is it going to be one of these like, oh, you liberal snowflake, what do you mean you don't want to take part in a bouquet toss?
Right.
I feel like this is where it's going.
So OP very understandably has their own reasons for not wanting to get married. Cool, no problem.
Fair.
My friends know all of this. Cool. I could not care less if other people do these traditions and have never judged anyone for doing so.
Good.
I've had a great time at all of my friends' weddings.
Cool.
Not a problem so
All
far.
sounds so healthy.
Yeah.
This is
totally.
great. Where does it go wrong?
OP knows what they want, respects what other people want.
Live and let live?
Exactly. At Amy's wedding, sorry, I thought the next bit of it was like die and let die. I don't know why my brain said
Live and let
that.
live, die and let die.
And I held it in, but then I was going to start laughing whilst I was reading, so I had to tell you what was in my head. I'm so sorry. Live and let live, die and let die. Great, wonderful.
You heard
Jamie.
it here first.
At Amy's wedding, we get to the bouquet toss. Is it bouquet or bouquet?
It's a bouquet, isn't it?
Bouquet.
You sound like Mrs. Bucket.
Bucket. We get to the bucket toss. Sounds painful. I don't like this tradition, so in general I opt not to take part. And given I don't even plan on getting married, it makes sense for me to sit it out. I honestly agree.
Yeah, if you don't want to get married, don't do it. Like, save it for the people who...
If you don't like the tradition, you're not going to get married, there's no point in taking part. It's fine for someone to do it.
Also, can I just say, like, I had a bouquet toss.
Yeah.
I've been to many weddings where there have been bouquet tosses. Like, very few people take part.
Yeah.
It's not a thing that, like, it's so totally optional. I don't understand why this has turned into a drama.
Me neither.
But let's see.
When I saw it was happening, I went to go to the bathroom. The maid of honour, my friend too, saw me leaving and told me that I should wait until after the toss. I said I needed to go, and she then said she'd make them wait. Oh, this just got really... This was like I just want to like go sit this one out so people... And I perhaps would as well if people ask a lot of questions or try and force me. I'd be like, I'm just going to sneak off to the loo, you know, so that I don't get the awkwardness.
Well, hang on a second. Can I push part?
You can.
I just want to push on that a little bit.
You may.
I just think, like, it's one thing saying I'm not going to take part.
Yeah.
It's another thing leaving the premises. I do think that's a little bit... That's different.
Yes.
Like, I'm trying to think of, like, a different example that's not a wedding. You know, like, if there was, like, a first dance happening, I could stand up at the front to watch the first dance and, like, put your little lighter in the air and have that little moment of adding to the ambience.
I hope you don't put a lighter in the air.
The phone torch light, you know what I mean? Or you could not do that and you could sit back at the tables. But if someone was doing a first dance and then you're left to go to the loo,
but
I don't know, is that a little bit rude? I feel like that's a little bit rude.
But
maybe I'm overthinking it.
For a first dance,
I feel like that was a bad example.
There's no risk of someone pressuring you to do it.
Yeah,
I think that's what I interpreted OP as wanting to leave to avoid pressure of like, hey, OP, do the... And having to say no to multiple different people. It just gets exhausting. So I thought OP just wanted to remove themselves from the situation. It's not a big moment in a wedding. It's not like the first dance. It's not like the cake
Well, it's
cut.
kind of like speeches. I guess that's a better example. Like if someone's
No,
doing like
because
a...
you're not going to get a pressure to go up and do a speech unless it's prearranged.
But I still think it's nice and polite to sit on the side to watch,
I
along with everyone else who's not doing
agree
it.
with you, but
I feel like I'm being
there is
schooled
a
right
no,
now.
no, 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 no. I
Just
do.
like, I agree with you.
I agree. No, I
It's 'cause
agree
you're
with you
thinking.
on all the contexts
Okay.
that you're saying it's important to stay, because it would be rude to walk out on speeches on a first dance.
You're like midway through, you just wait until it's done
But
and then you go.
Where my head is at is like, if there was a game at a wedding that wasn't like a big part of it, and everyone was saying, "Oi, Shaaba, go play the game," and you said no already, and you knew people were going to keep pressuring you, so for the last round of the game, you just pop to the loo, so people stopped pushing you to go play this game. That's the way I see it.
But that's not what's happening here, Jamie.
Okay.
They're not. It's not like the bouquet toss is happening, and they're like, oh, go on, go up and go to the bouquet toss.
You don't know that because the maid of honor
That's
said
not
that
what's
they're
said.
going to wait.
When I saw it was happening, I went to go to the bathroom. I think if you don't want to take part in it, don't take part in it. I'm not making you
Okay.
take part in it, but sit back with everyone else who's also sitting
Maybe
back to
I
not
think it's
watch.
maybe my inner introvert, not my inner, just my introvert going, oh yeah, if there's something going on that I don't want to take part in that's not mandatory, but I feel like people might pressure me, I don't want to be there.
I mean, can I also say this also
That's
with the
where my head
caveat?
went.
Like, if you need to pee, dude, go pee.
Yeah.
Like, the maid of honor being like, you must stay. Well, no. She said, oh, well,
We'll get
then
them
it's
to
fine.
wait.
We'll get them to wait and do it when you come back. See, I see that as, I don't know.
Okay.
I want to be there to know what the
Yeah.
context of that was. But why didn't you just say, I don't really want to partake. I'm just going to sit with these other guys. Like, you guys do it. I'm not going to get married, so I don't want to waste the toss opportunity.
All their friends know. My friends know all of this.
Yeah. So let's read on. Let's see.
Okay.
Oh,
Right. I said I needed to go, and she said she'd make them wait.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I insisted they go ahead, and this friend gives me a very long stare, a sigh, and then went over to take part in the toss. Right. A few days later, the bride and this friend got in touch and expressed how disappointed they were that I didn't take part in this tradition for Amy's sake.
the drama.
No, that's
okay.
unnecessary.
Look, I'm not sure you were needing to go to the toilet. I think that's like a step too far. You could have just sat and watched. But the fact that they're bringing this up afterwards is like, I'm so disappointed in you. I'm going to call it now. You're not the drama.
You're not the drama.
You are so not the drama.
The toilet thing, unless OP foresaw this kind of fallout happening and thought if she could say, I was in the loo, I missed it. I know that you're very big on just be honest and communicate.
Yeah, you know.
I appreciate that too, but not everybody has that stance.
You're forced to be in an environment where you feel like you need to pretend to discharge bodily fluids instead of
Ew,
saying that you're a
Shaaba.
feminist. Do you see what I mean, though? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, just be honest. Oh, you should be in a friendship group where you can be honest.
Yeah, but you are not the drama.
No.
There's a bit
Too
more
bad
to
it's
read, but
Being called, not the drama.
Poop. Every other unmarried woman took part, and they said that making a clear political statement at Amy's wedding was cruel, as they know about my thoughts around all of it. Okay, to say that she was making a cruel political statement is really, really dramatic.
And look, can we just say, if a bride has this on her mind, this was something that upset her, like, this is how you're going to spend the first days of your married life. Worrying about some other person who didn't stand to pick up flowers. What is wrong with you? Like, there are so many things to be thankful and grateful and to reminisce positively about a wedding. What's wrong with you, Amy?
And I don't think OP's even a bridesmaid or anything. They're just a guest at the wedding. It's not as if they were like front and center and everybody would notice if they were missing for bits. Amy said her bouquet toss memories are now tarnished, knowing how much I'm judging it from a feminist perspective. But OP's said very clearly that they don't judge other people and they just want that same respect back for their viewpoint, for their life. They said I can decide to not do things at my own weddings. OP doesn't want to get married.
Whatever.
How good are these friends? But it's only polite to take part in the activities at other people's.
I totally disagree with this. The way that I think about these things, though, like, my initial reaction is to be like, no, I disagree. But I think it's really important to find formulas, right? Like principles that work in multiple scenarios. That's how I road test for myself. Is this the right thing to do? Just put it out there just in case other people also find it a useful tool. If it wasn't a bouquet toss at a wedding, if it was any other tradition that people did, would it be respectful to bow out and be like, I don't really vibe with that, so I'm not going to do it, but you guys go ahead and do it. Mm-hmm. So let's try and think of some other scenarios. Do you know what I mean? A graduation. If there was a graduation where people popped a hat on and a robe, that's an optional ceremony to take part in when you finish your degree.
Yeah.
If you had a friend who was just like, you know what, I don't want to do it. I don't like the idea of being centre of attention. I don't want to be at the front like that. I don't want to shake someone's hand. The pomp and circumstance is not for me. Yeah. I'm going to sit this one out, but you guys go for it. Fine. Do you think that the friends would have any right to be like, you know what, you not doing that makes me feel judged for wanting to do that?
No.
I would agree.
My head kind of goes to religious things.
Which is fine. Like, okay, take it back to our wedding, right? And the cultural stuff. Like, we had a mehndi, for example.
Yes.
And the mehndi was joint.
Yes.
Right?
Part of a mehndi tradition is the women on either side carry trays. Mm-hmm. With
That's
items.
A much better example, of course.
If somebody had said, I feel a bit uncomfortable, to carry a dollar tray, we'd have been like, that's totally fine.
Or I don't like the idea of it because I don't want just the women who are important to me, because we actually kept that part of the tradition where it was just women that did the trays. Special women from each side essentially come and bring you trays
and we described it to each person we asked.
It was like quite a big moment to us. Then it was a special thing to do, etc., etc. If someone had said, you know what, I'm not going to do it because I don't like that religious connotation, but you guys go for it, I wouldn't feel offended.
No, I wouldn't be offended, and I wouldn't feel judged for wanting to do it.
Yeah,
because I'm like, if they would judge me for wanting to do that, then just don't come. Yeah, like, you know, and OP isn't judging the friends.
In the back of my head, there's always this devil's advocate as well, who's just like, you know what, in light of all of this fallout, OP totally could have just stood there and been like, and pretended
but
bunny
then it's
quotes
not being true
to try and
yourself.
pick it up, but it's not being true to yourself. So that's why you don't do it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can hear other people saying like, oh, it's not that big a deal. Couldn't you have just left her being happy and just, you know, pretended to partake and not really partake? And it's like, well, no, if you don't want to do it, you shouldn't be making yourself feel uncomfortable.
I would never have predicted that somebody would say, it's been tarnished. You made a cruel political statement. I can't believe it. Like, you're judging us from a feminist perspective. Like, it's
if this is what you have to focus on for your wedding, like, did you not have a good time? Like, what little is going in your life?
Do you know what else?
That this is what is important to you.
When you do a bouquet toss, your back is turned to everybody. You don't even see them. You do it over your head or your shoulder. You didn't even see who caught yours until you saw the photographs.
And do you know what? Those photos were bloody golden.
Amazing. But then
it was incredible.
You didn't even notice who did and didn't partake. I barely noticed.
Yeah. This definitely feels like it's not about the wedding for these other people, and they're just judging the friends' values, which is why, in my opinion, they are definitely not the drama.
I feel like Amy and the other bridesmaid people are doing exactly what they are accusing OP of doing. They are judging her opinions, they are judging her political stance and her feminism, and they are like taking that and being like, you're doing that to us, when they are doing that to her. Sorry, was that very confusing?
No, this is exactly why I'm so grateful that we're doing this together.
Okay.
I have had a couple of comments of people being like, you know what, I love... Because I've been doing the drama series for a while on this channel. And if you're listening on the podcasting is new, but I, Shaaba, alone, have been doing these videos on a weekly basis for quite a while. Yeah. And when we started doing it together, my point was I knew that some people might be a little bit upset because, like, change...
They don't like me.
No, it's not that. I think, like, change is a big thing, right? Yeah. When people are, like, used to something... It does feel very different. Mm-hmm. It is a change. I totally appreciate that.
For the punchline.
My point is, I said, and I do mean this, like, different... It's so important. More heads are better than less heads. I know I said that as a wrong thing in the first episode, but it's so true. More heads are better than less heads. Yeah. And that is such an important point. And it's not a point that I would have come to for myself. Like... It's so true, and it's that kind of insight where you help me deal with my ridiculous dramas that I've experienced in the past. I'm just so grateful that you're here, because I think it's really important what you just said.
I feel really, like, respected and hyped up by you right now.
You should be. You deserve to be hyped. I give you a brownie badge, Jamie. Well done, you.
Best day ever.
Honestly, though, truly, such a fantastic point. You can't sit there and be like, we don't judge you. You know, like, you cannot do that at your wedding. we don't judge you, but you're totally judging them.
Yeah, totally. You are absolutely judging her.
And she's like, hey, you do you. Live and let live.
Well, the last bit of this says, I want to make it clear I barely talk about my opinions on this stuff, only when asked, and with so many disclaimers that I do not judge people for doing any of it. I am not that person.
Yeah.
So you are not the drama for not taking part in a bouquet
And other people
toss.
are absolutely judging you. And it's not very fair.
Like, I can't even imagine how... I get how it could be a big part of somebody's day, like a special moment of like, oh, I can't wait to throw the bouquet. It's like a tradition for me. I remember catching it at somebody else's wedding. I'm really looking forward to doing it at mine. Mm-hmm. But why does it matter who chooses to take part? You still get to throw the bouquet. Yeah. Somebody still catches it. It doesn't matter if your good friend from college
also somebody who would actually value it.
Yes.
Somebody who actually wants to get married.
I know. It honestly just shows a massive disrespect of the fact that it's a tradition meant to be whoever catches it gets married next, right?
Yeah.
And if you are trying to force somebody who you know doesn't want to get married to take part... I actually feel like
it's more respectful for OP to not have taken part.
Yeah, because you'd be taking away from a big element of that tradition. And if the tradition is important to the bride, then you don't want to take away from the tradition.
Yeah, or to the other people
OP, you are actually the anti-drama. You are not just not the drama, you are... so far away from the drama that you are trying to reduce the drama.
The drama is amard to you.
What?
I'm trying to like reverse drama. Like drama
The
backwards.
drama is a dot to you.
Amard.
And then Amy brought it to your doorstep.
I still don't think Jamie's got what I said.
No, I haven't.
Drama backwards.
Oh.
Amard. Did the penny drop?
Yeah, but...
I think I might have to take away your brownie badge, babe.
No. I framed it already.
Commenter said, going to the bathroom tarnished her wedding with OP's feminist perspective. It was cruel to not catch a bouquet. Holy crap, these people are hilarious.
Oh, okay. At the beginning, I was like, oh, Amy's written a comment.
This is the most overdramatic thing I've read today, and I'm loving it. I hope Amy and her maid of honor have a really nice time throwing absolute fits in the 1960s and meet some new people who are much more judgy than OP. Mm-hmm. Also, I hope they meet someone with some really good newfangled wedding activities that they'll be too polite to bow out of. Yeah. Not the drama.
That's such a good comment.
I have a question though.
No.
And this doesn't excuse anything that we've just spoken about. Thank you. I still absolutely maintain OP is not the drama here.
Yeah.
What is the non-feminine, like what is the origin of a bouquet toss that goes against a feminist perspective?
I would guess it's just OP is very much like, as a woman, I can make a decision to not get married and I don't want to be judged for that.
Sure.
That is my choice as an autonomous woman in the 21st century. Mm-hmm. And the bouquet toss would symbolise...
getting married, or like a want to get married.
Yeah, you know what it means. So I think it's...
Well, no, I'm just wondering, like, where does it originate from? Do you see what I mean? Like, I feel like a bouquet toss is on a different tier, like a different level of feminist objection to, for example, a dowry. You know? Where it's a very much a sense of ownership, or even like the sense of a ring, which is a physical sense of ownership, or the vows that you say to be like, or being introduced. I know this is a big thing for us as Mr. and Mrs. Rains. You know, like the name that you take on.
Yeah.
That's not something that we wanted because that does not work with our values.
Yeah.
I don't judge people for not sharing the names. And I don't think that any of our friends have ever gone, oh, well, you know what? Because you double-barreled your names, I feel really judged.
That I decided to take my husband's name.
I think that's a very different tier. I think it's quite trivial to do the whole bouquet toss. I think I see it more as, because it's not, what I'm saying is the historical context is not based on ownership.
Yes, I see what you're saying. But
I guess I'm likening it more to like a tarot card reading.
But the whole context of it is about getting married.
Yes.
And I actually see it more as a sign of respect from OP to be like, there's no point in me catching it. It would be a waste. Let it go to somebody who actually believes in that and has a want to get married.
Yeah.
And would be excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still maintain that she could have stayed in the room along with the other people who didn't partake in the bouquet toss. Didn't need to go to Lou.
Big deal though.
But it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
This whole thing is not a big deal.
Wedding people get more and more absurd. I have missed like 3 bouquet tosses because I was in the middle of a conversation and didn't feel like going over there. Who is policing the bouquet toss and taking attendance? Idiots. That's who. They were there with a little register. Just like, oh, OP didn't show up.
Honestly, I totally agree. And like, if you are really stressing about these aspects of a wedding, you have totally missed the point.
Yeah.
Of it just being a gorgeous celebration with the people that you love more, most with food and dancing and good vibes and a celebration of your relationship. Everything else is just extra.
Yeah, and like, what is going on in your life for you have the headspace and the time
knitting. You should just do something to fill your time because you clearly need it. Oh, do you know what I am mad about for missing out on our wedding?
What?
Cake. I didn't get any wedding cake. And we were like so busy dancing and like chilling out.
Yeah.
I totally just didn't see when the cake came in. I wanted to eat that cake. It was
I
great cake.
saw the cake come in.
Did you?
What were we doing? We were separate for a bit. I think we were talking to different people.
I need to go to the toilet at one point, and that was really stressing me out. So I know I was busy with that for a bit.
OMG, my sister was 16 and caught my bouquet. It was 12 years before she got married. I hadn't thought of it for years, and I can't remember who caught the garter.
There's a garter
There's a garter toss.
That feels a bit...
Did Amy do a garter toss?
Did she?
Judging for her failing on traditions of weddings.
Where are your trad wife tendencies? So I thought the whole thing about the garter, which I would never do, is like the idea of that publicly the groom is supposed to like remove it with his teeth. That's the thing, right?
Is it?
Yeah,
we didn't do that.
No, though, can I just use this moment to shout out my garters? I say garters plural because this is actually like a really cute story for me anyway. So
for me anyway.
So on the wedding day, Jamie very kindly provided me with like a little box at the beginning to open. And one of the gifts that Jamie got me was a little garter, which was so cute. Yeah. And then my mum, I love her so much, also got me a garter because she was like, oh, I wanted to make sure just in case like other people didn't do those like little wedding tradition things that you had the little wedding tradition things. And so she got me this garter. But because we have couples tattoos of pizza and pasta, she found like little gummy pizza
slices and bits of pasta. Pieces,
and she like sewed them onto this garter to like personalize it to us, which was just the most adorable thing ever. And that's why it deserved a little shout out.
Simultaneously the most adorable and most bizarre thing I've ever seen.
It's super impractical.
Yeah.
Gummy
you couldn't
pizza
wear it
leg.
Because it fell down because it was heavy.
It was also
right?
too big.
Okay.
Yes, and too heavy. But it was adorable, and I'm so glad that happened. It's like one of those golden nugget memories in my brain.
That's adorable. Oh, will I be the drama? So this is for a future scenario.
I love these.
Ready? For using a baby name, my sister dibbed. Bagsy the baby name.
Dibbed.
Can you dib a name?
I think you can totally dib a name. Well, we can't dib a name. Hey, my point is, there is a reason that people don't share their baby names. It's because you're scared of one, judgment, but also two, other people taking your baby names. Yeah. So, like, we don't share our baby names with only many people. Only with, like, select, super close people.
Mostly people that we know don't want kids.
No, not for that reason. No, mostly because we don't want other people to judge it. I feel like there's a difference when you haven't had that baby yet. Whereas when you have the baby and you're like, this is the baby's name. Even if people don't like it, they're like, oh, okay, cute. This is a thing and it's just happening.
But if you tell them before, they're like you.
I bet this is like, this is not my intention, but I can only imagine what viewers and listeners are thinking our baby names are now. They're going to think like, they're going to want to call their baby Candy Floss or something.
What do you mean you don't want to?
Oh, god damn it, I gave one away.
Strawberry.
Blueberry. This stupid post of names. See, that one annoys me the most. It was names with fruit integrated in it, and Pernald was one of them. And I get it, because of the spelling. It's A-R at the end of pear, but you don't say Parnold, and it's Arnold. It's not Arnold.
Read the post.
Do better, Shaaba. Meme. Do better. Okay, yeah, we'll move on. Okay. I am a 26-year-old woman, and I'm pregnant with my second child. We don't yet know the gender of the baby, but we will be finding out next week. Oh, I hope you don't cause any forest fires with your gender reveal. The topic of baby names recently came up in conversation with my family, and I told them a girl name we really like and want to use. My sister, who's 19, looked disgusted and said, I claimed that name years ago. Don't use my name. Okay.
I don't know if I'm wrongly judging, but my gut reaction is age does feel like a factor in this. I feel like when you're at an age where like you're seriously thinking about having kids and you have a discussion and it's like you chat with your families and you're like, I really like this name.
Does a 19-year-old have kids?
But like, what, a few years ago, I'm like, so a 16-year-old said, I don't, this may be wrong of me. I'm willing to be judged for this opinion. I feel like I wouldn't necessarily take that completely seriously. A 16-year-old just going, oh, I love the name Gertrude for my future baby. And I'm like, okay, cool, nice. And then, you know, 3 years, I probably forget, unless it was really a serious discussion. But I
think it depends on the context.
Willing that I'm being quite harsh with that, and it could be like I'm not trying to be ageist towards the young.
Sure. Okay, let's read on and see.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, says OP. I didn't know that she'd claimed a name, nor did I know she even wanted kids.
Oh.
So it wasn't even a discussion that had happened with OP. After I had my first baby, my dad got carried away in excitement and asked her when she wanted her first, to which she replied, I don't even know if I want them.
Right.
This wasn't even a year ago.
Well, the newest information you've got is you don't even know if babies are happening.
What is the name?
Okay.
I need to know the name. I didn't say anything, but I did tell my husband. He suggested the same name, but a longer version of it. Oh, is this now?
Right.
Like you didn't say anything about
the
name and being like, oh, well, I didn't think you
it.
even want kids sort of thing.
Right.
But you told your husband, hey, here is a problem because sister's saying that she's dibbed this name, and he's gone, cool. Instead of Bert, let's call her Bertrude. And you're now worried about the fact that the name is technically still the same that she placed dibs on, but it's also the only name that you both like and agree on. So would you be the drama?
For still using the name.
For using the name. Oh.
Okay. In the context of, I'm trying to think of the people who we've told that we've picked names for. If one of them were to have a child and in the lead up to expecting this child say, hey, I've chosen this name for my child, and we've gone, oh, we chose that name. Like we told you.
Okay, can I just say, this has happened 3 times.
Also, we hadn't communicated with those people in advance.
Yeah.
So like, just it wasn't any kind of dib situation.
No.
But I kind of, at the core of it, I'm like, you can't put dibs on a name. Honestly, I'm like not the drama for this one, but I can see why somebody who feels like they put dibs on a name and found out that their sibling wanted to use that name on a baby that was literally arriving. I could see where the sister's upset has come from, but at the same, like,
it feels just like a really annoying situation. Here's my thinking. It needs to be, if I were in this position, I would need to calculate, is the fallout of using this name worth the want of using this name? Because there are so many names out there, and I think looking, I hear OP when she's saying, look, it's the only name that me and husband agree on, and honestly, if that name's so important to you and it is genuinely like really of value that you use this name, use the name. The sister is likely going to get over it. There are other names. It's not that big a deal. And also, you are having a baby right now, and you didn't know. It's not like, this would be very different if what had happened was you'd heard the sister say it and be like, yes, I want that name.
Yeah.
In the context of sister saying, I want to call my baby that, I do think that would have been morally not very
this
right.
Baby I'm expecting, I love that name. I'm going to call my baby that name.
That's kind of what happened in Friends. Right?
That
She was like, oh, Emma.
Yeah.
And I was like, God. I did think that was a bit rude. But
then there was a conversation, and it was like, blessings were given.
Right, and that's the other point.
That's what I would do.
If there is a loved one there, right, and the sister's like, you could go to sister and be like, hey, you thought of this name too. Don't you think this would be of so much value? Because this means a lot to me and baby daddy. Don't you think this would be super cool if, we could bless your little niblet with this name? How would you feel about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think as a sister who isn't even I don't even know if sister's in a relationship, but has recently spoken about not having kids.
Yeah,
is not in the process, nor the typical age for it. Okay, do you know what I mean? You'd be like, I'm not sure. I'd be like, you can't use that name.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. But if what's going to end up happening is you use this name, you think your sister's going to fall out with you, you think your baby's going to be in some way not discriminated against, but indirectly resented by the sister and potentially the wider family if there is a giant fallout over this, is it that important then?
Yeah.
So I think it depends on the context of how important that name is to
and the
you
familial
and your baby
relationship,
daddy.
how open you can communicate. I'd honestly go over chat and be like, look, I really don't have any recollection of you saying you wanted that name. The last thing I remember about the discussion we've had about your potential kids is that you maybe wouldn't have any, you know, and...
Which is fine. Like, I'm sorry I didn't know, but the reality is I really, really want to use that name, and so does my partner. It's the only one that we agree upon. Is there any way that you would be happy with us using this name for your new
Would you
niblet?
be happy if we used a longer version of it?
How do you feel about that?
And if you still wanted to call your child that, go for it, and we'll go for different nicknames from the name.
Totally.
You know, so if it's like Gertrude, it's just the name.
One could be Gertie.
One could be Gertie, and one could be Rudy, or or Rue.
Or
so
whatever.
like, there's different ways.
True's quite cute.
No,
Vibe.
there's different ways to approach it, but I think overall, OP, not the drama.
It wouldn't be the drama for using the name.
No, I don't think so.
But
I think could cause drama, but I don't think it would be a bad thing to use the name.
I don't know. I think we're gonna have different verdicts on this one. That's
sure.
fine. So you're gonna do the not the drama badge.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use the, I forgot what it's called. Need more information badge.
Oh.
We have one of those.
I didn't know I could do that.
I mean, just because I do think we need more information on how a further conversation would go with the sister.
I think as well, but I think on this information, not the drama.
And I actually think, like, with the not need more information, I am leaning more towards you than OP being the drama here, because I do think also, I'm hearing myself, I do think we're being a little bit sensitive to the sister, because at the end of the day, it's your baby. You choose whatever name you want for your baby. You know what I mean? And like, you can deal with the fallout of that, but I do just think it's sensitive in light of the context of what's happening to have that conversation with the sister.
For sure.
I don't think the sister should be saying this, and therefore I think it's more towards the not the drama. But in light of the sister saying it, it's always good to just respect each other's feelings, right? If you care about your sister and you don't want a fallout to happen, what is the harm in being like, hey, let's have a chat? How do you feel about this? How do we proceed? Because I really want to use this name.
Is there a compromise we can come to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will you be really happy with it? Like, are you actually going to have kids? Like, really, really think about it. Because at the age of 19, I'm pretty sure I wanted to call my kids something like, I don't know, but something along the line of Gwyneth Paltrow's Apple.
Okay.
You know, like, I would have had a very different vibe then to when I do now.
Yeah.
And I think maybe saying, like, opening up to the sister in that way and being like, hey, babe, if you're not wanting to have kids imminently,
maybe
there's a high chance this could change for you. And I wasn't aware, and I'm having a baby like yesterday.
And sometimes people have a list or like a couple options, and then they decide once they've had the baby and they get a vibe with the little baby face and just like, oh my god, you're not a Gertrude, you're a Bernadette.
Sure. I also want...
I'm deliberately picking names that are very much not on our list.
Yeah. I'd also say that I think in terms of the sister, when you, or for both of them to be fair, when you know, or when something's dangled in front of you as you not being able to have it, you want it more. It's just human nature. It is just a thing.
Imagine
there's a sales technique.
Imagine the pressure for the younger sister that if OP does bow out and say, okay, fine, for your future child, you can have that name. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, 10 years down the line, sister is having a baby. It's like, I don't like the name
Actually,
anymore.
I've decided to go for Bob instead of Gertrude.
And what if their partner didn't like the name? Their future partner.
Yeah.
Like, there's just so many variables.
Agree.
Use the damn name.
The more we talk about it, the more it just seems a bit ridiculous that the sister has claimed this, not being in a relationship, not even
expecting it,
and
baby.
not having this discussion with the OP at all.
Yeah.
You know, again, I still think, okay, I'm going to change my badge.
Okay.
I'm going to change my badge to not the drama.
Not the dramas.
We are both not the dramas, but I still maintain that a discussion would just be nice to make the sister feel heard.
Sure.
But my point is, what if this was one of multiple names, but now that the sister's heard it, she's like, oh, but I wanted that one.
Tricky. Your sister doesn't get to claim a name when she isn't even pregnant. You, however, are pregnant and have the right to name your child whatever you want. Your sister is being childish.
I agree and disagree. I agree at the childishness, but I disagree that the criteria has to be that you're pregnant in order to have that conversation, because for some people pregnancy is not that easy. We're having to go through alternate situations to conceive. I know so many other couples who are doing the same. They can be really seriously wanting a baby, and I've planned all of that out but not be pregnant, and I don't think that position should be diminished just because you don't have the bun in the oven.
I think it's more
if you got the recipe card out, it's enough.
It's more of a if you definitely know you want kids, and you're in the stages of going through that process, and you're thinking about it seriously, that's it. It's not the pregnant criteria, it's the bit before that when you're planning. All
of this could be totally avoided, right, if you just don't share the name. And then if someone OP said it's not, like, if the sister didn't share with anyone that that's the name that she wanted, she can't be offended if someone else comes to the same conclusion. You know?
Yeah, no, fair.
She got there first. So sad, too bad.
So sad, too bad.
It's become my favourite saying at the moment. I'm overusing it. I can hear it, but I'm not sorry. She doesn't even get to claim a name when she is pregnant, says someone else.
She doesn't even get to claim a name when she is pregnant.
So the commenter's trying to say, look, a name is a name. You can never claim a name.
Got it. Yeah.
I mean, this is great in theory, and I do agree. But at the same time, I think when we look at things practically, we can't always have these overriding rules. Yes, that makes so much sense. I totally agree with you. But what happens then if you want to call your baby Mary and your sister, who's also pregnant at the same time as you, also wants to call their baby Mary, and your brother, who happens to be close to pregnancy with their family or whatever, is also going to call their baby Mary? Do you know what I mean? Like, there are times where you can say you don't need to...
siblings there.
You don't need to claim a name, but sometimes...
Somebody needs to...
this discussion needs to be had.
In that situation, do you know what happens? Nobody calls their child Mary.
Sure. In which case, I totally see that in theory of what this commenter is trying to say, but...
I do agree. You never get to claim a name as yours for your future baby, but you can have a respectful discussion where you let somebody know what you would really like to do, and then they can respond to that with whatever they want to do. Yeah. And you can come to some kind of compromise or fall out and hate each other forever. Like,
because put it in this situation. If I was pregnant and my sister was pregnant and we were both pregnant, but one of us was 1 month further on with the pregnancy. You're both talking about it. You've both come to the same names. Yeah. I say, I would like to call my baby Bill. And my sister goes, I would like to call my baby Ben. And I'm like, oh, cute.
Bill and Ben.
My head went to the Flower Pot Men. I was just thinking of two names. Okay. Oh my God, that's just like unlocked nostalgic memory for me, but we'll unpack that later. So say that happens, right?
Baby Bill.
Baby Bill, baby Ben. Say my sister is 1 month more pregnant than I am.
Yeah.
And then when she is pregnant, like when she has the baby, she goes, cool, my baby's Bill. Pop that on the birth certificate.
He's a Bill.
And I'm like, dude, we spoke about this during the past, 7 months of us both being pregnant.
That's a slightly different context where, I could see why as you would get annoyed, because it's like, but you said Ben, I said Bill. I'm only 1 month
just because you happened to get to the finish line before I did.
Vindictive of whoever had the baby first.
So in that situation, I do think you get to claim a name. Do you see what I mean? There are times where these overarching theoretical statements can sound great, but in practice, it's just not applicable.
Yeah, I still don't think you get to claim the name, but you can be rightfully annoyed if somebody snubs you with that name when they knew it and they already agreed that they wouldn't use it.
What's the difference between that and claiming a name? Isn't that me saying I claim the name?
Yeah, but you can't actually claim. Okay, it's because it's like a hypothetical claiming. I'm struggling. My brain needs more concrete, grounded things, but yes,
the reality is I would then find another name and I would still call that child who is now my niblet Billing, and I would still love that child and I would not resent them for having the name Bill.
You could call yours,
they're a baby squish, it's not their choice.
You could call yours Will.
Bill and Will.
Or Jill. Till.
Stop it!
Mill.
My point is,
Zill.
Sometimes these things in theory, oh my God. Kill Bill. Stop it! Stop it! Ooh, there's an info request. Somebody's asked, what is the evidentiary basis for her claim of dibs, and how long ago did she claim she said dibs, and is she in a relationship?
I love this.
And were there witnesses? Give us all the receipts.
This is like some private investigation.
And Opie said, no, we never spoke about it. She's literally always had the stance of, we want dogs but not babies. So it was very out of the blue, and I was honestly shocked that she'd even thought about baby names considering her dog mama mantra. Maybe she wanted it as a dog name, in which case you can totally have a dog name that's also a baby name.
I wouldn't mind if a friend or even a sibling called their dog the same name that we wanted to call our child. I'd still use the name for a child.
Yeah. I think we have multiple examples actually of where we have this, we know the same person and dog.
Yeah.
Called the same name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Her boyfriend, also she's in a relationship. Her boyfriend is a go with the flow type, so he's probably going to go along with whatever name they choose if they do have kids. Right. And I don't think anyone else realised either, considering our mom was the first one to suggest the name to me and my husband, and we loved it so much. Oh!
Right.
Oh, she wouldn't usually instigate like that, so that tells me that she didn't realise either. What if though,
didn't know
the mum knew from the sister and was like, oh, yeah, I think this is a good name. Even
the mum's the drama.
Even if it wasn't in like a shit starry way, but just like, like a subconscious, maybe that was a discussion that she's overheard or had and thought, oh, this could be a cute name.
Damn. Sorry, my voice broke. Damn.
Damn.
I'm not a sheep.
Interesting. I do think that changes the context a little bit, but I still don't think of the drama.
I still think that makes me think even stronger, not the drama, because there's no evidence that the sister ever said that. Even the mum isn't aware that that was said, and normally, like...
And the name didn't come from you, it came from someone else who you both know, so...
Exactly. So use their name.
Just use the name, dude.
Yeah.
Have fun.
I'm sure your
good luck
sister
with
will
the rest
get
of your
over
pregnancy. That baby's going to be so loved. But if auntie, sister, to your child ends up being a crap auntie over resenting a name... She's not worthy of being in your child's life anyway.
I was going to say,
so dramatic.
Sometimes things like this really show you who you want in your life.
I see your true colours shining through.
It can seem like that was beautiful. It can seem like such a trivial thing, but it speaks to somebody's nature. And sometimes you're just like, mate, I don't need this in my life. And I'm not saying that is this situation. I'm just like, use the name and deal with what happens after.
Oh, drama. I feel like this was a relatively trivial episode.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There were like small issues that didn't need to be big, that have been made big. And I'm like, dude, just you do you.
I quite liked it. I'm not dealing with the aftermath of spicy drama.
Yeah. I've got bad taste in my mouth.
I was thinking about what happened in the aftermath of when I eat spicy food. I'm not going to go there.
Have we learnt anything from today's seeming trivialities?
You do you.
You know what? Don't take life too seriously.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
respect other people's positions.
Be fluid. I'm not talking in terms of gender. I
was just
do that if you want
imagining
to.
a cup with eyeballs in it.
I'm like,
sure, Shaaba.
Go with the flow.
Can I be Coke Zero?
You want someone to toss your bouquet to like...
Sounded like an innuendo.
Do you know what I mean? Like, to be part of it, don't be part of it. So what?
Yeah.
So what, dude?
I wouldn't care. I wouldn't even notice. I don't know why people have the time to notice these things.
Cat birthday dinner takeaway sorted. Move on. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too trivial, but I feel like my takeaway from today's session that I would like to bring forward in life
Great
is...
big pizza.
Stop it. Is Jamie's annoying. And also, just don't take things too seriously. It's okay. Let it go.
And blowing things out of proportion is not worth it.
I'm channeling my inner Elsa.
And stick by your morals. Try not to blow things out of proportion. If somebody else is blowing things out of proportion, let them blow that steam off and then see if you can chat later. Yeah, nice.
Good job, babe.
Good job.
Well, little high five. If you enjoyed today's episode of 1-800-DRAMA, maybe consider giving it a little rating on whatever podcast platform you are listening to.
Yeah, or hitting that thumbs up and subscribing if you are watching on YouTube, because that would be an amazing help. And plus, you get to see Shaaba on her own doing some Am I the Dramas whenever there's not a podcast episode, so highly recommend that.
You're very sweet. If you'd like to follow us, you can at 1-800-DRAMA pod over on Instagram.
Of course.
And if you'd like to submit your own drama, the details of how you can do that is downstairs in the description area.
Yeah. The description area? Oh, I heard that as one word. Description area.
Description area.
I thought it was like a...
Like a libraria.
Yeah.
I hear you.
That's
what I'm going to call it from now on.
Description area. On that note,
be kind and have a great day.
Much love.
Bye.
Bye.